And
they
I was
say
wondering.
you have to speak what you wish for into existence. Maybe I wish it was evening. But I do that every morning when I come in here. I shout good evening to everyone. Keep you on your toes.
Oh, wow.
Just to see if you are awake.
At the point I was wondering, what's going on? What's going on?
Yes, you haven't been caught in a time warp by accident. It's still morning. It's still morning. And what a morning it is. Yesterday, fascinating conversation on the show. Trying to figure out why SOEs seem to be struggling, in this country. And we learnt a lot from the minister, as well as it was interesting to have Ken Thompson and the audit service boss, the director general of internal audit agency. So that was a very fascinating conversation. But there's actually like a league table, and there's a bottom 5.
Oh, wow.
Of
do you know who's there?
Of these entities, specified entities. Who's at the bottom? Yeah, I'll give you the list. I'll tell you.
It'll be interesting to know.
I'll tell you who's at the bottom. The bottom 5. They are the ones the president told to sit up. So today we want to examine, what it is that puts them at the bottom. Why are they suffering? Why are they struggling is the word I need. Struggling. And what can turn their fortunes around? What would it mean for them to sit up? Yeah. So we're getting into that today. But first, gratitude. We're grateful to Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you, for bringing us the 6 a.m. bulletin. And Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. Not forgetting Millennium Insurance, your trustworthy partner. For the Joy Business Report, we say thank you to Glyco Life Travel Insurance. Glyco, we cushion you for life. Now, however safe travel may seem, risk of all sorts, including ill health, physical accidents, and natural disasters remain unpredictable with dire consequences. Thank goodness for Glyco Life Travel Insurance because it covers you for medical and emergency assistance as well as COVID care, personal 24-hour assistance, replacement for lost baggage, passport, driving license, national ID card and or equivalent consular documents, and you also get guaranteed cover for personal accident, personal liability, compensation for trip cancellation or curtailment, and losses and delays that last over 4 hours. Call Glyco Life on 0302-218-500 or 020-2222-113 for a travel insurance policy that best suits your needs and an enjoyable travel in absolute peace of mind. Glyco, we cushion you for life.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Report. It's midweek coming up. Total profits of banks for last year contract by more than 18% to almost 4 billion cedis. Also, economist Professor Peter Quarte hopeful of an economic turnaround next year if stringent economic measures are implemented. Also coming up, we'll hear from another economist who warns upcoming election year will be a major threat to prudent measures being implemented by government. More from Joy Business's Thought Leadership Program coming up. My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for being with us this morning. Total profits of banks for last year witnessed significant decline. This is based on a new report by the Bank of Ghana. Here's more.
Bank of Ghana in its report noted that the profit after tax for all the commercial banks put together contracted by almost 19% to 4 billion Ghana cedis ending December 2022. When you look at the profit before tax, it also declined by almost 14% to hit 6.4 billion Ghana cedis. The decline in profit, according to the regulator, was on the back of higher cost and provisions during the year, which moderated the impact of higher income in 2022 on the bank's net profit. Some industry analysts, however, believe that the debt exchange program also had a negative impact on the earnings of these commercial banks. Some are even worried that the situation could get worse this year. The Bank of Ghana noted that going forward, the performance of the banking sector will largely depend on this debt exchange program and how it is finalized. It was, however, optimistic that some safeguard measures that it has introduced will help deal with the challenges that lies ahead for the banking sector this year.
George, I feel with that report, Minister of State designate at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, is rejecting calls that the domestic debt exchange program needs to be approved by Parliament. The minority is pushing for the deal to be brought before the House for approval. But answering questions from the Appointments Committee, Dr. Adam said the request may pose some challenges.
Consulting Parliament on major policies like that is appropriate. But my understanding is that when the minister submitted the budget for 2023, and I went through the budget, the issue of debt operation was in the budget, and Parliament approved the budget. And so,
was it the policy or the details of the debt exchange program that was in the budget? Was it just the mention of a policy that we will do this, or was it the details?
But
You had Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Minister of State designate at the Finance Ministry, speaking there before the Appointments Committee of Parliament. Now, economist and lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Ejapoma Jekedako, has indicated that the upcoming election year will be a threat to the prudent measures government is putting in place to revamp the economy. Ghana has long suffered from extended budget deficits in election years as it overspends in a bid to win votes. Dr. Jekedako fears the history could repeat itself. She was speaking on the maiden edition of the 2023 Joy Business Thought Leadership Series.
In election years, apart from 2004, you see that the average we've done is around 8.1%. So I don't see that anything is going to be different next year, because if you track the data, you would see that every election year we overspend. So the same thing is going to be happening next year. It's a threat to all the prudence that we are trying to get as far as our fiscals are concerned. We need to see clear commitment from the side of the government. I thought that when some ministers resigned, the government was going to be using that as an opportunity to downsize the number of ministers we have. People say it's not going to make any difference, but you see, the difference is going to be making here is the signal is going to be sending to our investor community.
That was economist and lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Ejapoma Jekedako. Meanwhile, Director of ISA, Professor Peter Korte, has expressed optimism Ghana's economy will bounce back next year if strict and prudent measures are put in place. According to him, if government is able to secure the International Monetary Fund deal, that will put the economy on sound footing. Professor Korte was speaking at the maiden edition of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries National Dialogue Series.
The size of government still remains unresolved. You could even look at those benefiting from ex gratia. They can suffer some haircuts on the ex gratia. And I believe that is all ways of signaling to the citizens that we really want to come out of this situation. So until we revive this, until we change the structure of our economy, the structure of production, until we add value, we will go to the IMF every now and then. In fact, as for shocks, they will come. In this world we find ourselves, shocks will come in different forms. Until we change the structure, we add value to agriculture. The hoe and cutlass kind of agriculture. We need irrigated agriculture.
Director of ISA, Professor Peter Korte there. Now, as government's delegation heads to China to negotiate a debt clearance for the country, economist Professor John Gachi has advised government to deploy special negotiation skills to get the Asian country to accept the deal. He pointed out that China has been unforgiving when it comes to debt audit. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Gachi said more tact is needed to deal with China.
China in particular is a tricky issue because you recall that countries that are indebted to China and they are not paying, how they are treated, how some assets were seized. Nobody knows whether or not China will abide by or will accept the negotiation that, or the kind of lobbying that the government of Ghana is using to put pressure on or to convince China to accept the request. So we have to wait to see the response of China.
Professor John Gachi there, he is an economist and dean of the University of Cape Coast Business School. Now, a government has been entreated to work closely with various stakeholders to bring down food inflation. Senior lecturer at the Department of Economics at the University of Ghana, Professor Daryl says the hike in food inflation from 59.7% to 61% in the recent data by the Ghana Statistical Service calls for drastic measures to be taken. He was speaking at the American Chamber of Commerce Ghana 2023, the launch of the 2023 Economic Outlook Report.
If you look at the current data that was issued by the Ghana Statistical Service, food inflation constitutes about 61%. That is high because everyone eats, right? And there's serious supply bottlenecks along the value chain of our food production. And so I am of the view that if we are able to come out of this economic quagmire that we all find ourselves, we need to be deliberate. We need to be targeted and make sure we have big push investments into our food value chain processes, right from the production level to transportation level to consumer and to distribution and everything else. We need investments along that line.
Professor Eric Osesibe, senior lecturer at the Department of Economics at the University of Ghana. You are listening to the Joy Business Report. In other news, the National Communications Authority has assured that it will continue to guide the takeover process of Vodafone to Telecel Group to ensure the best interests of Ghanaians. Confirming the final approval in a press release, the NCA hinted that government has maintained its 30% ownership as the minority shareholder of the company. Here's more in this report.
The National Communications Authority, NCA, had announced on January 16, 2023, that it had granted conditional approval for the transfer of the 70% majority shares in Vodafone Ghana to Telecel Group, subject to concessions made by the parties. The authority, in a notice on Tuesday, announced that it has given final approval for the transfer of the 70% majority shares in Vodafone Ghana to the Telecel Group. The final approval follows satisfaction of conditions outlined in the conditional approval of the shares transfer, including the agreement of the Government of Ghana, which remains the 30% minority shareholder. The NCA said it will continue to guide the takeover process in accordance with the existing license conditions of Vodafone Ghana, while ensuring that the interests of consumers are held paramount.
Well, moving on, Group Chief Executive of Cybersecurity Service Company Virtual InfoSec Africa, Emmanuel Setré-Siedu, has reiterated the need to create more awareness on safeguarding the data and activities of organizations from cyber attacks. According to him, organizations need to adopt robust measures to fight against such attacks.
There's awareness. People have seen the impact of losing their network and if they're being hacked, especially the financial sector. As a company building the financial industry, a security operations center, we know the importance of such initiative. I believe that not only the financial sector, the remaining 12 critical infrastructures will come on board to help government. This space is such that there's so many smart people who can hack into the system. So it's a 24/7 system that they also need a smart mind to be able to knock those things off. From what I've seen there, now the awareness has been created. Again, the authority is doing their best. We must all support them financially in any way to make this country great, because without us, they can't succeed.
You had a Group Chief Executive of Virtual InfoSec Africa, Emmanuel Setré-Siedu, speaking about a product launched by his outfit to guard against cyber attacks. Now, labor is an essential part of any agri production system, but its availability has been a challenge here in Ghana. How do we solve this challenge? Well, startup Portia Lanyo has come up with a solution. She's created a web and mobile-based app which links job seekers to employment opportunities in the agri sector and provides farmers with skilled labor. The Joy Business Van features in Obwa today. Take a listen.
Hello, Joy Business Van. My name is Portia Alanyo, co-founder of Onobwa, and we are the human resource managers in Ghana's agricultural sector.
Startup Portia Alanyo is helping small, medium, and large-scale farmers increase productivity through the provision of quality and qualified human capital to agribusinesses. She's created a web app for that purpose.
So getting to go through the frustration of how farmers get people to clear their farms, harvest, or even do sowing got me thinking, how can this problem be solved? Because you have to travel to different towns just to gather the youth to help you on your farm. And I thought of bringing this together to just help this problem in Ghana's agricultural sector.
In Obwa, on the Joy Business Farm, this Wednesday. Right, so make a date. Full episode airs at 1 p.m. right after the Joy Business Report. 5 p.m. on Business Live on the Joy News channel. Don't miss it. Before we go, let's check the markets for you. Beginning with the currency market, the cedi going for 12 cedis 90 pesos to the dollar on the forex or retail market. The pound going for 15 cedis 20 pesos, and the euro selling at 13 cedis 40 pesos. On the commodity market, crude oil dropped to $82 a barrel this morning. Gold went up marginally to open trading at $1,836 an ounce. Cocoa also gained $11, trading this morning at $2,782 a ton. And there is more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl. Thanks for doing the listening. There's more listening to